Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I'm super happy that you're here as always. I'm here with another review, and as you can see by the title, I'm going to talk about oud fragrances that are just elite. So my favorite, or one of my favorite oud fragrances. I do have a few more other ones, but I feel like these are the ones that definitely deserve to be hyped more and talked about even more. And I've actually mentioned all of the fragrances except one in previous videos. But before I start, let me introduce myself to you. If you're new here, my name is Martin and I do perfume reviews. So I talk about all types of fragrances, whether it's niche, designer, Middle Eastern fragrances, dupes. I'm here to talk about that, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe in case you don't want to miss some other new upcoming videos. So yeah, let's get started. The fragrances I've chosen are all oud fragrances. Oud mostly is known as a very, how can I say, oriental note. Very popular in the Western world as well. And there are all types of oud fragrances. Mostly when you think of oud, you think of this typical spicy roast oud combo. And I think this is very common in fragrances. And I have to admit, actually, most of the fragrances I have are roast oud fragrances, but not only that. So the first fragrance I would like to talk about first is, actually this one here, a hype beast, very popular, Arabian's Tonka by Montal. So this one here I have in my collection for over 2 years now. This is my second bottle. I love this fragrance a lot. This used to be one of my signature scents, and I don't wear it that often actually because I feel like it's very overdone because I smell this scent quite often. It is very popular and there's a reason, because it's just amazing. It's stunning. It's a beast mode scent, extremely potent. So if I spray this one on myself, this is like 10 plus hours. Projection, heavy sillage, heavy projection in general, big compliment getter. So what you have here is rose oud. You have oak moss in here. You have this sugary sweetness. It has, some people say it smells a lot like Baccarat Rouge, but just more oriental with the oud. And I do get it. Like, remember first time actually spraying this one, smelling this one, I felt like, yes, this is right up my alley because I used to be, and I'm still a big fan of Baccarat Rouge 540. And it has this vibe, but just stronger, more potent, richer, deeper with the oud in here. And I think this is just stunning. As you know, or if you don't know, Montal is an amazing French brand, and nearly all of their fragrances are quite synthetic smelling, but also extremely long lasting, very powerful. And I think this is just a statement fragrance, perfect for the colder days, perfect for going out, for clubbing. And just when I wear this on myself, when I go out, people always compliment me on this scent. And I remember actually going out once with friends of mine in the club. I was wearing this, and I'm an oversprayer, so 20 sprayers, Montal's Arabian's Tonka is a lot, I know, but the amount of compliments I got, I will never forget. There were so many people complimenting me on this fragrance because it is a beast mode scent, and I think it's super sensual, very sexy, and definitely unisex. Actually, all the fragrances I'm gonna mention are unisex fragrances. I know some people may say specific fragrances are more feminine or more masculine. I think this is perfectly in the middle. It has this perfect balance of sweetness with the oud and the rose, leathery as well, and perfect for the colder days. And also the reason why I wanted to talk about is because we're actually entering fall season now, and I think all the scents are perfect for the fall and for the colder days. So the next fragrance I'm going to talk about is another stunning fragrance by Lattafa. This is Oud for Glory, which is supposed to be due for Oud for Greatness. This is saffron, a lot of saffron, oud, and lavender. And the lavender adds a little bit of freshness to it, but what I mostly get is the sweetness, saffron, and it's a very airy scent. And the patchouli, of course, because patchouli is one of the main characters here. And this is also beast mode scent, so 8 plus hours for sure, and big compliment getter. I think this is great for layering. I myself am a big fan layering fragrances. I layer this one with Arabian's Tonka, for example. I layer this one with Baccarat Rouge 540, for example. There are many options actually, and I think this is stunning. I personally would say this is a little bit more masculine leaning, because it's not as sweet as, for example, the other ones, but still definitely unisex, and it's being also marketed as a unisex fragrance. And as I always say, I feel like I'm just I keep repeating myself in every review. I'm mentioning that fragrances have no gender. So whether you're a man or a woman, and in the end, it just needs to be authentic. Whatever you wear, you need to be feeling the vibe and you need to embody that scent. Then the next fragrance, and this is actually the first oud fragrance I got, which was a blind buy, Shagaf Oud by Swiss Arabian. This is my third bottle now, and I love this scent a lot. I feel like this is the type of fragrance I'm always gonna have in my collection, not only because I love it, but also because I'm very nostalgic when I smell this one. Because I've been wearing this a lot throughout different phases in the last 2.5 years now. And I think this is really amazing. This was my first blind buy. I know oud fragrances are usually not safe blind buys, especially if you start collecting fragrances or if you're new in the fragrance game. But yes, I felt like I liked the bottle, I liked the reviews, and everyone was mentioning this is a beast mode scent. And back then I didn't used to wear really strong fragrances, and I felt like I need to try this one. And I just love the mixture of praline and saffron and oud and rose. This is like a jammy rose, lots of chocolate, like really like think of the praline. It's very deep, very rich, and you have the saffron, which adds the perfect amount of spiciness. And the oud, I think, is a very refined oud. This is also I feel like a very, how can I say, and if you want to enter the oud game, this is a very safe buy for you. But I would recommend you still to try it out before you start, because as I already said, I think there are fragrances that are very easy to start, especially if you want to collect niche fragrances or generally Middle Eastern fragrances. And I feel like if you like sweet and jammy fragrances, and if you want a good oud fragrance, then this one here is perfect. The next one is, yeah, this is another hype beast, Alexandria 2 by Xerjov. I have this one in my collection for a longer time now. I feel like nearly a year, but I've actually had dupes before I got the OG, and I always felt like I want to have the original in my collection because I'm a big fan of it. I think this is very opulent, this is very royal, this is very just a statement fragrance as well, and this is the type of scent you're gonna wear if you want a confidence boost, because there's no way you're gonna wear this scent and not feel good about yourself. Really, this is just, as I said, super opulent and super strong, also a beast mode scent as well. I feel like all the fragrances I'm mentioning here are beast mode fragrances, so you have to keep in mind not to overspray if you tend to get headache or just overwhelmed by fragrances. I feel like this is very refined because it has a very specific take on oud. It's a nice mixture and blend of different notes like lavender, and I get the lavender, it adds the perfect refreshing twist to the scent. And then you have apple in here, as far as I know, and you have that cinnamon, and it's very powdery as well. So it is a very complex scent. I think it has a nice development. In the beginning, it's very sharp, but you need to let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then the magic happens. And also great for layering. I love to layer this one with Naxos by Xerjov, another masterpiece. And these two together are just fantastic and one of my favorite layering combos actually. So yes, you should definitely give this one a try if you want something that's heavy on the oud, but very refined and very powdery. If you like powdery fragrances, I feel like you're gonna enjoy this one as well. Then the next one, this is also a big love of mine, Oud Satin Mood. And this one here, I remember trying the first time and not liking it at all. I felt like, what is this? This smells like old grandmother. But you know, it's development, and the taste changes throughout the time. And I actually tried the fragrance a year later, and I was like, wow, I need to have it. I really, really need to have it. But before I bought it immediately, I felt like I need to try it first on my skin. 2 days later, I purchased the scent, and I'm not regretting purchasing it. I feel like if I run out of this one, I'm gonna get the Extrait because it's a little bit deeper and even richer than this one, which is actually very hard because this is a beast mode scent as well. This is very rich. It has an amazing sillage because the moment you spray it, you get all the notes, and it can be a little bit too much and overwhelming. But after 10 to 15 minutes, you get a nice medley of different notes. And I feel like you get the whiff of the rose, you get the jammy sweetness, the velvet in here, which makes it very soft and very sensual as well. I feel like, to me, this scent is very fruity. It has a honey-like and fruity-like or fruity lychee-like sweetness. But as far as I know, there is no lychee listed in here, no fruits, but I still get it. And I think this is very well blended, really a masterpiece. I know that MFK is very popular for fragrances like especially Baccarat Rouge 540, but I feel like this is the actual masterpiece and the actual fragrance that deserves to be like the icon of the house. But there are many other great fragrances. I also like Grand Soir. I think this is a nice ambery and warm scent, perfect for the colder days as well. And I've also mentioned the fragrance a few months ago as far as I know. So yeah, this one here is also great. I feel like slightly feminine leaning, even though it's very deep and also very potent. But the sweetness it has, I can see perfectly on a woman that's mysterious and that wants to maybe give off a very seductive vibe. I think this is a great date night scent, but definitely also for men. I feel like men and women can wear this one perfectly. Then the next one, another beast mode scent. And this is, I feel like, a hidden gem because I've barely seen any reviews, which is Santal Royal by Guerlain. And I think this one is a masterpiece as well, just very underrated. And maybe I'm happy about that because not every scent needs to be blasted and hyped up. I think this is the type of scent you're gonna and wanna wear if you want something that's as well opulent, but more laid back. I think it has the perfect sillage, like it's not overwhelming at all. And even if you overspray, and this is a very strong and potent fragrance as well, it's still perfectly blended in a way you're not gonna feel overwhelmed because you have the peach in here, as the name says, Santal, so you have the sandalwood and you have the rose in here, and the peach adds some fruitiness. The sandalwood makes this fragrance so creamy. I feel like it's like butter. It's so creamy and so nice, and it has a very velvety and silky kind of feel to it, if you know what I mean. Sometimes when you think of fragrances, they have like a specific texture. It feels like you can feel the texture, but it's just the scent itself. And I feel like this is also very sensual, very mysterious. I feel like this is the type of scent I'm wearing on a Friday night, wearing like a nice silk shirt, a nice leather jacket, or a long coat, for example, completely like from head to toe black, and then this scent on top. And I feel like this like vision of me, this is the scent to me. I add this scent and then I have the whole vision. And then the last fragrance, another underrated fragrance by the house of Maison Cyr. This is Perfect Oud. And I have this in my collection for a very long time. I've never talked about the scent. I don't know why, I just didn't manage. There were so many other fragrances I was actually focusing on. I do wear this fragrance here and then, so there's just a little dent. Maybe I've worn this fragrance definitely not more than 10 times, but I still think this is elite. And this one has a very special take on oud, because when you think of oud, usually you think of strong, very spicy fragrances and very deep, but this one is kind of happy, very refreshing, because you have the bergamot in here and you have iris, and the iris makes it very powdery as well, but with a very happy feel to it. The bergamot makes it nearly fruity, and I feel like this is a great scent for the summer as well. I would even say that this is some kind of summer oud fragrance. This is signature scent worthy. I feel like this is the type of scent you can wear every day. You're not gonna get sick of it. I remember testing this the first time. I was like, okay, this is nice. I can smell the oud. Didn't really feel like I needed it. And I tried it the second time a few days later, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I remember back then it was winter, so maybe like 7-8 months ago. And I felt like, wow, I really, really want to have this scent in my collection. And I've been wearing it quite often. And every time when I wore this, people were like, yeah, this is unusual, because how can I say, I definitely have some type of fragrances or preferences when it comes to fragrances. And people were like, yeah, this is something new. I haven't smelled this on you, but it's still amazing. It's nice. And this is very refined. This is very, how can I say, luxurious in a way where it's not too loud. Because if you think of true luxury is never too loud. This is, some people will even say, the old money style of fragrance. And I would definitely agree, even though I'm not a big fan of this ideology and term like old money. I don't believe in that. But yes, if I think of the outfits and the vibe, this is really a fragrance I can see someone that knows good luxury without wanting to be over the top, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, these are actually my favorite fragrances, oud fragrances that are definitely elite, that are definitely deserving the hype or even more hype. As already mentioned by the Mise en Cire one, I really think deserves even more hype. And yes, if you liked the video, then please hit the like button. If you have any questions, ask me. I would love to know your favorite oud fragrances, or if you've tried any of these, what do you think about these fragrances? And I hope to see you very soon for another review. Thank you.